Good morning. You're listening to WAPN 91.5 FM and WAPB 91.7 FM. And it's that time of month that we have the Chief of Police in here. Introduce yourself and say hey.
Hello, this is Chief Byron Williams, Holly Hill Police Department.
And why do you come in here and do this? I know why, but I love it when you explain why.
Well, I love to be engaging with the public, and sometimes, we don't get a chance to do face-to-face conversations or social media, so this is another avenue that I like to take to actually be engaged with the public and get information out to them.
It's funny because more and more people have come up to me and asked me how we do this and what do we talk about and all that. And I said, well, some stuff is really, really, really interesting. Some stuff I'm mad about and some stuff is great. Now, tonight, you're actually going to be interacting with the public. How are you going to do that?
It's a National Night Out. It was previously scheduled for October the 7th of this year, but due to weather-related things, we had to push it back to tonight, which is November, tonight, 5:30 to 8 p.m. We're going to be there in front of City Hall on the lawn there. We have over 50 vendors that's going to be out there as well. We got dunk tank. We got all these different.
Now, are you going to be in that dunk tank?
I was, but now I probably will not, but
because it's going to be cold out.
We're watching the weather now,
Right.
but yeah, it's expected to be pretty cool out there tonight. So you'll see the dunk tank out there, but it probably will not be utilized.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Because, as Florida people, we don't know what to do after it gets down to 50. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, it's like, I don't know why people don't know how to drive in the rain.
Yeah,
okay? It's so funny. It cracks me up. And we don't know what to do when it's lower than 50. I mean, we're getting our electric blankets out. I was testing all my little gadgets in the car, and Tim's looking at me like, honey. It's not snowing. And I said, I'll think it is. So that's all that matters is in my mind that it's going to be cold. So do you have some safety tips when it gets this cold? Because I know because we are not used to it. Is there some safety tips that we need to do when it gets this cold?
I'd say it doesn't really affect a lot of things like traffic or whatnot, but just make sure you're taking all precautions to keep yourself healthy and dressing for the occasion, I would say. Obviously, like this morning, I go to the gym in the morning time, so I'm in the gym getting all wet and everything, but then I walk out and it's 10 degrees cheaper or lower than when I walked in. So I'm trying to hurry up and get to the car real quick before I catch a cold or something like that. So just take precautions and make sure you have the proper attire you're dressing with for the weather. This is going to be a few days of cold weather, so we know how it is in Florida. You need to carry shorts, a blanket, all at the same time because you never know what the weather's going to do.
And it's sad because we do have homeless people in our area.
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
Maybe this is the time to be a little kind. Maybe you kind of look past a couple things the next couple days because the wind chill is what gets it. I mean, it's already getting windy out there right now. And I was like, oh, my goodness.
From the time I got up this morning, went to the gym and got to work, it had dropped 14 degrees.
I know.
And
Isn't
that's
it crazy?
Within 2 hours.
I know.
So,
I went out to do an errand, and I was like, oh, my goodness. Luckily, I had a second, coat with me. I know. I'm a wimp. But so if there is, you see somebody, it's a nice day to buy somebody a hot chocolate or a coffee or just be a little bit kind.
Absolutely.
And be kind to our police officers also. Tonight, we're going to get to meet them. We're going to get to hang out with them. There's going to be free hot dogs.
Yes, free hot dogs.
Drinks.
Have a couple food vendors out there as well. That's going to have a great menu. So, come out and enjoy, have fun. We get to meet you guys get to meet us and have conversations.
Now, how many officers do we have now? Because I feel like we have new ones, or is it just what I think?
Well, we are still trying to steadily improve the staffing from when I first got here last year. We're almost close to full staffing, which is a total of 26 officers, including myself. So we're almost there. We're like two positions short right now.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, did you guys go out yesterday and help with the big thing at the Speedway? Did you send any people out there?
We did not. We were not notified of that, so we did not know it was actually happening. But kudos to Sheriff Chip Wood for
a lot of
the
people
things
got
that
helped.
he's doing, and the community itself coming together, and that's what we are. We're a community that come together in a time of need, and that's just what we should be doing. So
we have some neat things going on in Holly Hill. We have a new kindness page that's out, and I love it that you just report kindness things. And I've been reporting, like tonight, there's free barbecue up at Oasis Church in Ormond Beach. Anybody that needs a hot meal can go there between 5 and 8. And there's a food truck that is donating food tonight, a hot meal. And I love it that they're cooking it up and handing it to you in a go box.
And that's what it's about.
Right now, just doing those little things, because we are blessed and we live in a great town. I love our town, and just kind of take a step back and have gratitude this month. It's a gratitude kind of month.
That's the way to think. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So do we have any statistics about what's going on in Holly Hill?
Well, the statistics, basically, we're down in crime.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, that's always a good thing. Compared to last year, this time we are actually down in crime in most of the categories. Calls for service is down as well. Violent crime is down. We had one robbery last month that we're constantly working right now. That was involving kids at the park.
Okay.
But we're working that investigation right now. We're getting close to solving it, but it's still work in progress. But that's one thing I love. That our violent crime is not that bad here. Really, not at all.
I wouldn't think it would be in Holly Hill. I mean, we're very blessed about that, I think.
We're doing a lot of focus initiatives now with our traffic enforcement. Some of you may have seen some of our traffic officers on Nova Road this last week.
Yep. I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah, so we're starting to do a little bit more enforcement now that I'm getting a few more officers on the street.
Because you can't enforce unless you have the officers to do it.
Exactly. So we're going to do a lot more enforcement. You're going to start seeing a lot more officers, not just on Nova Road, but on Ridgewood and all the side streets as well. We got new traffic equipment that we was able to get through some grants that we applied for. We have already started deploying those out in the neighborhoods, smaller traffic trailers that we started utilizing during Backtoberfest.
Now, what do you mean a traffic trailer? What is that?
That's the machine that sits on the side and shows your speed as you're passing.
Oh, okay,
by.
yeah.
But it's also giving us intelligence or information basically showing how many vehicles are passing.
Oh, so it actually gives you back info.
Yes.
I was wondering about that. I always wondered, I thought, is it sending a picture of me?
So we have two set up on the Riverside Drive, one on the north end, one on the south end.
Yep.
And you would not believe just how many vehicles actually passed through just last month by itself. It was 188,000 vehicles.
On River Road?
That passed through there.
Wow.
That pass through there. So it's a lot of people that doing pass through, driving from one city to the other, utilizing Riverside Drive.
That's my favorite road in this town.
Yes.
Riverside Road. So, wow. Now, I have a question about Riverside Road. There is a crosswalk right at, is that 5th? I think it's 5th in Riverside Road. What are the rules on that? Because, I'm a biker. We're going to talk about this. And I ride an e-bike. And nobody ever stops for me there. Is that because it doesn't have lights? Is it real? Do you understand my question?
A crosswalk is designed. You're supposed to obey the crosswalk when you're in the vehicle.
Thank you.
And when you see certain individuals, if it's not any signage that's saying "come walk, not walk,"
right?
When the vehicle is approaching and they notice someone in the crosswalk, they're supposed to slow down to a safe travel of miles per hour to allow the pedestrian to walk across the street. If they don't, that is a statutory violation.
Now, does it allow bicycle cross also, or no?
Yes, you can walk your bicycle across.
Okay.
Same concept.
Okay.
And we do operations yearly with the state when it comes to crosswalk violations. I don't believe we haven't did one in a couple of years, so I am going to be instituting that back next year.
Okay.
Where it's a week-long event where we actually work crosswalk violations throughout the state. So it's something that the Holly Hill Police Department is going to be participating in.
I'm glad you're going to participate in that because I know over on Beachside there's a big thing about it, but they all light up and all that. So then I thought, well, maybe because it doesn't light up, it doesn't count as much,
No.
but it does, right?
Yeah, it still counts.
So is it a ticket if you don't stop
yes,
and let the?
Okay. It is a citation.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about something that's dear to my heart that I don't agree with you on, but that's okay because that's what's fun about live radio. Tell us what's going on with e-bikes.
So e-bikes, we've been receiving a lot of complaints throughout the year about e-bikes, and it's something actually started last year. We started looking into it after getting complaints through the commission meetings and just talking to the public in general. And one of the biggest things is that these e-bikes, they've become so advanced now to where they move 20, 25, 30 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And you apply that method to the sidewalk where pedestrians are walking, it can get pretty dangerous.
And I agree with that part.
And we've had several near-miss accidents that could have possibly occurred if the pedestrian didn't jump out of the way. You have a lot of rude people that don't care about others on the sidewalk, so they just drive these e-bikes, open them all the way up to like 25, 30 miles an hour driving and forcing people to jump out of the way. So we began to look into how do we curtail or enforce these e-bikes driving like they're driving on the sidewalk. Many cities do it differently, have done it differently. Mm-hmm. We, in turn, decided to approach it to where we didn't want to gauge it by miles per hour, but just remove the e-bike, from the sidewalk itself. So now we have a city ordinance in place where no e-bikes will be allowed on the sidewalk.
And I know I'm an e-biker and I do the sidewalk. And so that's why I'm going to admit it live on the air. Well, I don't do it at the speed you're talking about. I think that's crazy on the sidewalk. I'm going to tell you right now, that is crazy. But I have tried to ride on the road on Riverside, and that's crazy. And I think it is because, and I'm just going to be honest with you, because I don't go the speed limit. Do you follow what I'm saying? I'm the person that I have an e-bike because I have had major leg surgery, and sometimes I just can't get home unless I do turn it on. But I pedal the entire time. I go like 10, 11 miles an hour, which you could do that without an e-bike. Do you follow? That's a normal bike speed. But I don't ever go like you said. I've never put it in fourth gear. I don't know if I could. Well, it just makes me nervous. You know what I'm saying? So that's the hard part for me because there's not a bike lane, and I'm not doing the speed limit. So does that force me to have to go a speed limit that I'm not?
Well, the thing is, where there is a roadway, there's no dedicated bike lane. The bike should be considered as a vehicle. Vehicles on the roadway supposed to respect the bikes as vehicles on the roadway, and that's something that unfortunately you don't have people that are educated enough to know that or understand or remember that when they were taking their driver license course. But
we have selective memory when we do that.
But that is actually the correct way you're supposed to do things. If there is not a dedicated bike lane, then your vehicle is to act as a vehicle on the roadway. Now, you do utilize caution when you're using your bike on the roadway. Stay on the edge of the road itself, but it's supposed to belong on the roadway itself. Now, we talk about, the e-bikes and why we creating this ordinance. It's not a state statute, but it's actual city ordinance in Holly Hill. And like you said, you don't go the speed limit. You don't go that fast.
But there's 3 or 4 that I've seen are crazy. Yes. I'm not going to lie to you. I have seen them, and they've made me mad.
And a lot of our state statutes and laws that have been created is not because of the majority. It's because of the minority that are violating or doing the wrong thing. And then these laws get created for that reason. Same here with the e-bikes. It's not the majority. It's the minority that is causing the problems. And we want to eliminate any safety hazards happening on the sidewalk with our pedestrians.
Well, the hard part on that is, we also have these scooters.
Yes.
And these now skateboards with motors on them.
Absolutely. So
how does that all play in? You know what I'm saying? Because those both have engines or whatever. What are they considered? Batteries on them, I guess? It's not really an engine because mine is not an engine. It's a battery.
It's electric powered.
Yeah. So how does that play out then with the scooter and the skateboard, or is it just against me?
Actually, it goes for all electric motorized vehicles, bikes. One thing it is excluded because we have some concerns from those that are in wheelchairs.
Yes.
Motorized wheelchair.
Right.
It does not pertain to them, so
and
they're
I would
still
agree with that totally.
Allowed to be on the sidewalk itself.
So what is a person on a bike? We're supposed to drive just like we're in a car, right? We're supposed to go the same direction as the vehicle. Correct. We should have a helmet on, of course, which I'm a big advocate for a helmet.
Absolutely.
We need to use our hand signals. What things can we do so that we can be seen? Because mine's a blue-green. I wear a blue-green helmet. I even have a little light on my helmet. I have a light on my bike. I have a mirror. I almost got taken out the other day by a truck. I mean, literally, it was so close to me. I felt like the paint was coming on me. And so, and then I got scared because that is something I thoroughly love about the city of Holly Hill is that river road.
Yeah.
And I do 5 miles a night. And now I feel like I can't do that. I don't know. I just feel terrible about it. So
it's one of those things that you have to do what you feel is safe to do in those instances like that. As far as your safety when you're on bikes, obviously you want to wear reflective gear if you can. You want to make sure you have lights on your bike, both front and rear, so you can be as visual as possible to the driver that's driving in the vehicle. We try to encourage that. We try to make sure encourage people wearing helmets because you're going to have those instances where someone's not paying attention.
Right, and they're going to clip you.
Yeah. You look at Sheriff Chipwood. He's been hit a couple times on his bike. I've had a couple near misses on my bike when I ride. I do the more racing type bike, so I travel for 40, 50 miles when I do my biking. And it can get very hairy at some roadways that does not have.
Yeah, I don't see how they do it on the loop up in Ormond.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a crazy roadway.
I've done that a couple of times myself, so it's a.
Did you have police escorts when you did it?
No, we just ride in bikes and we ride real hard. We ride real tight together, and we avoid the cars as much as possible.
It's a hard law. So is it a real law now, or is it one that's up for if?
It went into effect last month. We started doing the education. We didn't do enforcement yet, but we just started incorporating the education, just educating the citizens and visitors on the actual city ordinance that is here now.
It's really hard for me. So does that only apply to that sidewalk or all sidewalks?
Nope, it only applies to city sidewalks.
Okay, what are city sidewalks? So is that every sidewalk in Holly Hill?
I would say non-state roads, which state roads includes Nova Road.
Okay.
But Nova Road also has a dedicated bike lane.
Yes.
Ridgewood Avenue and also Mason Avenue. So those roads will be excluded from this city ordinance. So you can still ride an e-bike on those particular sidewalks.
Well, yeah, on Mason. If you don't want to meet Jesus that day, you might want to be on that sidewalk because Mason's crazy as it is.
I've driven on Speedway Boulevard. I've driven on Mason. I've driven on LPG.
But how fast are you going?
I'm going about 15 miles an hour.
Okay, so you're not going much faster than me, and you're all leg power.
Yeah, all leg power.
Well, you're doing good because it's so hard, and I know which ones you're talking about that go flying down there, and I know how rude they are, and it's sad that it ruins it like for the other people. Yeah. And so, is it a ticket offense? Is it a point offense? What is it? It
will be a city citation, a citation that's going to be you're going to be issued, and you will have to pay it through a utility department here at the city hall.
Okay.
So you will have a certain amount of time frame to pay that citation. And we just go, it's just like a regular citation you pay. It's no points added on your license or anything like that because this is a city ordinance violation. So.
Okay. So does an e-bike person need to carry their driver's license in with them?
To be identified, yes.
See, I carry mine with me everywhere I go, but now I know my husband does not.
Yeah.
And it's like my husband went up to the YMCA the other day, and he rode his e-bike up there to watch our granddaughter play, and he, chained it all up and all that. And I thought, well, you know what? He doesn't have a helmet on, which... I know, but he doesn't have an ID on him probably either. Yeah. And I thought, is that a law?
It's not a law. It's not required.
It should be though, shouldn't it?
That you have your ID with you. Some states do require you have to have your ID. If you have an ID actually made, you have to have your ID with you and present it when law enforcement stop you. But you are not required to have an ID when you're on an e-bike itself.
I think that's so weird because we're allowed to get a ticket and we're allowed, we're told to do something. Then I think that should be part of the whole deal also.
Yeah. But see, law enforcement, we do have other means to identify an individual who does not have their license with them. As long as we have the name, we can actually ID you from that.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't think you could do that.
Yes.
What about is it legal in the state of Florida or even in Holly Hill to have your driver's license on your phone and your insurance card? Because that is a question somebody called me about, and I just, when we're talking ID, somebody called me about that. Ask that question.
You are allowed to have your insurance on your phone. Many drivers do that now because of technology. You still must have and produce a physical driver's license.
Oh, okay. Because I thought maybe nowadays, because they were trying to do that where you could do it.
That law, I have not received any law saying that you don't have to have a physical.
But you can show your actual insurance card on your phone, and that'd be okay.
Correct.
See, somebody asked me that the other day, and I said, well, I thought you could do your driver's license because, when you go to the airplane, you can pull up your phone. Isn't that funny that the FAA, you can do that?
Some things are slowly trickles down to the different
it's weird,
states.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It
takes a little time to get there, but I assume I'm not surprised that we will be going down that road. Like I said, we started with the insurance card, and that's been acceptable form of presentation now with that. So
I did mine recently because they change you get a new one every 6 months. At least mine does, and so every 6 months you're getting a new. Every 6
months you get a new driver's license.
No, a new insurance. So you're getting a new piece of paper every 6 months, and you forget to change it out, and then you get a ticket, and you have to go show it. And I'm like, so I started putting it in my phone, so that makes it a lot easier.
Well, I'm a stickler about that, so once I get it, I immediately take it and put it in my glove box.
Well, I do that also, but guess what? I'm a terrible person at. I don't take the old ones out. So then when that tells you the last time I got pulled over. I think I got pulled over 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, when you pull somebody over, do you know that about a person?
As far as what?
When you pull us up, because you just said you can identify us anyway, but when you pull us up, do you see we haven't got a ticket in 25 years, or you don't see any of that?
No, that will require a little deeper dive in our databases.
I was just wondering because sometimes I feel like that it sets up: are you going to get a ticket or you're not going to get a ticket? No,
that doesn't. Now, if your license is suspended, that comes up immediately.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what would cause your license to get it suspended?
Failure to pay traffic fines. Certain arrests like driving under influence, DUIs, things of that nature will
And
cost you.
without insurance, right?
And without insurance, most definitely.
And that now, if I got pulled over and I didn't have insurance, which will never happen, but if I did, does the car get impounded? Is it just a ticket? What is that?
That is a ticket.
Okay.
We will not impound the car based off of just not having insurance on the vehicle.
Okay, so what makes you want to impound a car?
When the tag is not valid, when there's no tag on the car, that's an automatic tow of the vehicle.
Okay, so if you buy a vehicle, let's just say I'm going to go buy a vehicle today from Joey. And I don't put my tag for my old vehicle on it because it's not licensed to that, right?
You say you don't put because it's not correct.
But if I'm driving down the road without the tag, that's not right either. So when somebody buys a vehicle,
the dealership should.
No, if you're buying it from an individual.
If you're
I know
buying
the
it from an
dealer will give you that little white piece of paper that you put
Yes.
on there. But if you're just going to go buy a vehicle today from somebody off of Marketplace or whatever, let's say.
What we recommend you do before you buy the vehicle or before you drive the vehicle, you make sure either they're going to leave their tag on the vehicle and you're going to get it transferred over, or you get your tag on the vehicle transferred over before driving it on the roadway itself.
Okay. See, I thought that you could.
Yeah, but you should not, and I recommend explicitly that you do not put a tag on a vehicle and it's not registered to that tag.
Totally agree with
Or
that.
your vehicle, once you get pulled over, your vehicle will be towed.
Because I thought that if, like, say I was going to buy a vehicle from just a normal person, I could drive it home without a tag if I had a bill of sale on me. Instead, I just bought it. I thought I was allowed to drive it home.
We prefer because there's nothing on the vehicle identifying who the vehicle is, who the vehicle belongs to. And state statute says you have to have a tag on the vehicle to operate it on the roadway.
See, I learned so much with you.
Now,
So
I've typically seen when things like that happen, vehicles are purchased on Marketplace, the actual owner of the vehicle would drive the vehicle to the location of the person's home, and they would make the sale there.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and then take the tag off from there.
That's a good idea.
Outside of that, you want to make sure all that is done before you actually receive the vehicle and drive it.
So you should never, ever, ever, ever switch tags. I know that for sure. But I mean, you can't borrow a tag from another
you can't
vehicle and put it on, because that is the big defense.
Some have done it and got away with it, but it's take that one time where you make a wrong turn and a law enforcement officer sees you and pulls you over and realize that tag does not belong on the vehicle then.
So the lesser of two evils would be to not have the tag at all, right?
Correct.
I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but, because, you think of these things, guys, you go buy a vehicle and then you're like, okay, what do? I got to get it home. Mm-hmm. I don't know of any owner that's going to drive it home for you, but.
There have been some extenuating circumstances in my 25-year history where I've seen or heard that where, something has happened and then wherever they pulled the vehicle over at, the explanation is given where the officer would allow, long as the property owner is satisfied with the vehicle staying there, the person just get a citation and then just leave the vehicle there and make arrangement to go get the proper identification for the vehicle before they move it again.
Well, there is good police officers out there. You don't always get a ticket.
Yeah, you don't always.
I mean, if they're pulling you over, start off with being kind and have the right information. I mean, I remember the day I got pulled over, and still to this day, I was cruising with everybody else on Williams. I had just lost my father not too long before, so I was still in that, grieving state. And it was bike week, so everybody was going once, and I was just right with them. And I got pulled over, and I was just such in shock, and I thought, this is like my first ticket ever. and he was like, ma'am, did you not even know what you were doing? And, I didn't. And that's sad that now that we need to be, I shouldn't have said that to him probably. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how fast I was going. What do you say to an officer when he pulls you over? Is it better just to be stupid? Is it better to just be honest?
I say be honest.
I feel like too.
In my younger days, I got pulled over and I was just flat out honest with, hey, this is what I was doing. I was wrapped up in the radio or thinking about my mind zoned out of something else, and I wasn't paying attention. Obviously he saw mercy on me then at that point in time.
Right.
But, we've heard a lot of different stories.
I'm sure you hear all kinds of stories.
We hear different types of excuses. Like I said, some people are actually, godfully sorrowful for what they did. They weren't paying attention. They didn't know. They understand. And some of those get, the verbal warnings from the officer, don't do that again, and they go about their way. And some make it a little more difficult at the traffic stops, and unfortunately, they sometimes will get the actual citation.
I got it. And, I don't understand the whole citation thing, because it's very confusing. Like you say, well, we can go to court, but then it's going to cost us court fees, or just pay the ticket and take the points. I mean, how many points can you get? And
you're allowed up to 12 before your license is suspended.
Oh, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of points.
Well, you get 3 points for every traffic moving violation you get.
Oh.
So it adds up pretty quickly.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I have 0. And they go away, don't they?
They will go away once you take the driving course, and not the driving course itself, but defensive driving school, the training that they give you.
And then they eventually go even if you don't take the class, right?
No.
So I still have those from 20 years ago in there? Man, I'm learning a lot today. I don't like you anymore.
You have to restart the clock again. Once you take the classes that are given to you, then everything restarts again.
Oh, see, I thought like after 5 years or something, they just disappear.
They could still be on your record. I can still go back and look and see how many where you've been.
So now I know what you're going to do after the show. You're going to go and Google me and say, she still has that.
We do not enter that system unless we have
no, and I know that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
When you see somebody doing something, what's your first defense as a police officer? Are you pulling their tag up? What are you doing?
Well, officer safety dictates that we're going to be calling that tag in to Central, so they know exactly who we're pulling over. For one.
And can I also call 911 or something if I feel like it's not a legit pullover or something?
Yes, okay. We encourage you. If you're not feeling comfortable being pulled over in traffic stop, you feel that it's not a real police officer, yes, we encourage you to call the 911 to make sure that is a police officer that's pulling you over. Typically, once you call 911 and say there's an officer behind me, this is my vehicle, this is where I'm at, that dispatcher is automatically going to know that the officer's already called it in, so she's going to know, or he's going to know that is a police officer behind
But
me.
it is okay to do that.
It is okay.
Especially as a woman, I would think that
you
nowadays.
will not get in trouble for doing that or chastised for doing that.
Okay, because I know we have a couple undercover police cars now.
We have undercover police cars. Unfortunately, though, we have bad actors out there that try to imitate those undercover cars a lot of times. So we do not chastise any individual citizen for calling 911 if they feel that their safety is at risk.
Well, because I work weird hours, so I always think about that. Now, my next thing is, where should I pull over at?
We tell you to pull over in a bright location that you feel comfortable pulling over.
How do we let you know?
You put on your blinkers, hazards.
Okay.
And that can be an indicator that we know that something must be wrong. You're putting on the hazards. And don't speed up, drive normal, or slow down a little bit more.
Right, because it's going to escalate if you speed up.
Obviously, the officer's getting concerned. And he's letting dispatcher know that the person's not pulling over. But if that person is on the phone with dispatch, the dispatcher is going to let the officer know that they're concerned. They're calling in to check and make sure you're a real police officer. And that dispatcher also will be directing that person to pull over into a certain parking spot.
Okay.
Parking lot.
And because I hate it when people pull over on US 1 for you police officers. I mean, because we really can't move over.
Yeah.
I'm not being mean, but we can't do that law.
Yeah. Typically, we tell them if it's something in that nature where the traffic is very heavy and it's not that much space to move, we'll typically direct the driver to pull over into a parking lot via the loudspeaker on our vehicles.
Oh, I didn't know that you could do that. I guess that's true.
We'd tell them just pull over or drive to the next road and pull off on the next side street or something like that.
Yeah, because on US 1, it's crazy.
Yeah, US 1, Nova Road, International Speedway, Granada, we're not going to typically try to do a traffic stop.
So what should we, if we're coming to somebody being pulled over as a driver, because I always know, what am I not doing or doing right? You know what I'm saying? Because you hear the law, move a lane, there isn't a lane to move. Are you supposed to slow to half the speed limit? What are the person that's passing by the situation? What are they supposed to do?
You're supposed to move over. Now, the law says it's a move over law in effect. The law says you're supposed to move over into the outside lane. If you see a traffic stop. Now, if you cannot move over via because there is another vehicle, obviously you're going to slow down, but you just continue driving in your lane as much as possible. Now, if the traffic stop is actually blocking partial of the lane, obviously you're going to slow down to a stop and wait to move over into the outside lane. But you can drive past a traffic stop without moving over, but the only criteria is there has to be another vehicle in the outside lane blocking you from moving over itself.
And is it half the speed limit that's posted?
Yes, you slow your speed limit down, absolutely.
Okay, because right now we have so much construction and stuff going on too, and it's all so confusing. What is the construction rules? Are they the same as when a police officer's out there?
Yeah, you slow down in a construction area, obviously. And that's for the safety of the ones out there working.
I know.
That's all it is.
But people just don't get it, do they?
They don't get it or they don't care. And
it's very sad because when I come to work, it's, like I said, weird hours. And that's when construction's going on.
Which is why sometimes in the construction site, especially on the interstates where you see the law enforcement officer with the lights on, they're still trying to give warnings, making drivers slow down a little bit. And sometimes you would see traffic operations happening in construction site areas because, people
just don't pay attention.
Don't want to pay attention or don't want to obey the law there.
So going into the holidays, is there anything that we as our neighborhood need to worry about? I mean, you said our crime's down, we got more police officers. What do we as individuals need to be more paying attention to as we're going into the holiday season?
I was going to say just remain vigilant when you're going out of your home, out of your safety areas, when you're driving down the street. Just making sure you're being mindful of your surroundings. When you're this is one thing that really bothers me, and even when I'm off duty, and I try to refrain myself. But
ooh, I want to see this happen.
You're walking down the aisles in the grocery store or shopping center, and you see someone with their basket and their purse. Typically, women.
Does that make you mad too? I go up to the women.
Yeah,
I do, and I say
I try not to too much, but yeah, I've done it a couple times. Like, ma'am, your purse is left wide open here.
No, I actually do say that because I don't think we really think. I am a woman. I'm going to say that out loud because I think what happens is, we're just going to grab those bananas, okay? Yeah. We're grabbing them, and there it's just sitting there. And I don't really agree with the whole locking it to the grocery cart thing with a little strap. I don't.
Yeah, that's to whatever, makes you feel comfortable. But I would say recommend make sure you're just paying attention to where you're surrounded, who's around you, who's standing there watching you, who's following you, and make sure you keep your valuables in sight.
Well, I had an incident happen this morning. I stopped at a store here in town, and I was carrying a box with some stuff in it, but I did have my purse close to me, and I have where I could pop open my trunk. So I was doing all these things, and there was a guy who said, "Oh, let me grab that box for you." I said, "Oh, no, I'm good. I'm trying to be polite." And he goes, "No, ma'am, let me grab that box for you." I said, "No, really, I'm fine, and my key is opening my trunk right now, so I'm great." "Well, let me help you." And I said, "Sir, I am fine." Well, then it came out to, "Well, can I get a few bucks?" Okay, and I said, "Sir, I don't carry cash." And I kept calm, cool, collect, got the box in the trunk, let the trunk down, got in the car, and hit the lock, know. But that easy. Just he came from nowhere.
And it's sad that society has gotten us to this point to where could that have been someone just trying to do a nice deed for a young lady? Absolutely.
Oh, young lady today. He's trying to get on my side now.
Absolutely. But things in society have just turned to where now you have to be cautious with a lot of things now. And, it's unfortunate. But yeah, you're doing the right thing. You need to be careful, and you need to be always on guard as far as who's around you and what people are trying to do, get close to you and things of that nature. But the holidays are going to bring out a lot of different people. A lot of people are going to take advantage of a lot of our residents and visitors. That's why we just ask you to be vigilant. Obviously, we've talked about this before, but our frauds are going to go through the roof during this time of season. If it looks too good to be true, it's definitely is not going to be true.
Well, what about the people with the signs at the lights? I'm not being mean because, I have a big heart and I would want to give to every single person. But how do we do that? Because we're givers, but also protect ourselves. Do you follow the question?
I've run into several individuals, and when I'm off duty in plain clothes with my family, and, I've had some meet me outside the grocery store, the Walmart, the Sam's Club, and I basically say this, I can't give to everybody.
Right.
I have to take care of myself and my family. If I give to you, then the next man come up, do I supposed to give to him too? There are resources out there, and I let everyone know we do have resources and programs out there in different charities that take your money or take your finances and put them to good use in these situations. And we try to refer a lot of these individuals that are standing on the corners, that are asking for funding, to go to these different resources for help. A lot of them choose not to.
Right. And that's legal to stand on the corners like that with the signs?
Right now, yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what we're trying to work on now, but we were trying to work on some type of ordinance to alleviate that. but that's still a work in progress.
My dad always told me that to have the money out, if you feel like you want to give to somebody, already have it in your hand or in your pocket right here, so that so that you're not fumbling, taking your wallet out, that you're not going into your purse. If you are a person that wants to give, and this time of year, it's pretty something you want to do. It is. So my dad always said, "Well, take the couple bucks, $5, whatever you're gonna do, and have it out already."
Yeah.
If
you're going to do that, that is the exact same to do. We're not going to tell anybody, not to give. If that's, on your heart to do that, who am I to tell you not to do it?
Right, but I liked what you said. I did like how you said it.
If you're going to do it safely, and you need to have your funds out to give in that manner so you don't get taken advantage of or get caught off guard.
And it's something that my husband's been very good about lately. I like to return the shopping carts to the shopping cart things. I just think it's important.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
But and I like to get the walk-in, but my husband will take my purse and he'll say, and then he'll say, wait until I'm backed up. And he kind of creeps along with me, which I really appreciate, because honey, do not have that purse hanging off you, doing your good deed, because you're just happy-go-lucky, doing your deed, and you look like an easy target. And I was like, really? And he goes, really? So that's my little help plan. Women, if you're going to do that, when you put your groceries in your car, put your purse in your car, lock it, and go do it.
Yep, that's what my wife does, and when I let her take the buggy back, but most of the time I'm taking it back for her.
Well, my husband wants to, but I'm like, I'm in the office all the time. You're out there walking. I want my steps, buddy, so let me do it. Well, you have been great today. I appreciate finding out rules of the city and doing the things of our city, and congratulations on all of our stats being down. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So tell us tonight where we're coming and what time we're doing it.
National Night Out tonight, 5:30 start time. We're going to end it at 8, and we're going to be on the front lawn of City Hall. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of vendors out there, a lot of things for our kids to play with, to enjoy. We're going to have food. We're going to have music. We're going to have the DJ going. Free. All you do is show up. That's all we require of you, just to show up. There will be parking in the back, structured parking, so you don't get lost. And we just ask the community to come out. We want everyone to come out. We had a great time last year, my first National Night Out, and we were expecting this one to be even greater than that.
Oh, last year was packed.
Yes.
I mean, packed. And remember, it does get dark a little earlier now. I would suggest bring a flashlight.
Well, we have some light banks to cover that and counter that.
Because it was a little dark last year, and I was like, oh.
So we have 3 light banks out there, and other little smaller lighting to keep the event lit up.
Yeah, I was giving away those glow stick things.
Yes.
I was one of the most popular people because I had those. Everybody's coming over trying to spin and win that. So. Absolutely.